Lancaster Promise Neighborhood represents an exceptional collaboration dedicated to employing all necessary measures within our designated area to empower, fortify, and educate families. Hello, I'm Jordan Lynch, and welcome to the Community Corner, where we will highlight amazing things happening in our community. On today's show, we will highlight the Lancaster Promise Neighborhood and their impact on the area. They will share their vision, discuss their programs, and highlight how their success coaches help the students. So stay tuned. This episode of Community Corner is one you don't want to miss. The primary goal of Lancaster Promise Neighborhood is to rekindle community pride and guaranteed academic success for every child from infancy to adulthood in the Clinton, A.R. Rucker, and Lancaster High area. Here to talk more is Project Director Lanisha Stover Blair. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, could you just tell us about yourself and what's your role at Promise Neighborhood?
Well, I've had several roles at Promise Neighborhood. First, in 2018, I served on the advisory board, and then in 2021, I became the data analyst, and then in 2022, I became the interim project director, and now I serve as the project director.
And how does it feel being the project director? Does it make you do you feel good knowing that you got that far and you're doing things for the community?
It depends on the day. Some days are great, some days are hectic because the grant is so complex. We partner with 13 service providers to implement the grant because we implement services from cradle to career. So we have a staff of about 5, so we can't do it ourselves. So we have to make sure that we are including community partners and they are providing services in their area of expertise. So that means that even though we are responsible for the grant, they're responsible for implementing the services to make sure that they fall in line with the narrative of what the grant says.
Okay, so I can definitely see where there could be some challenges
Yes.
there. So what is Promise Neighborhood? How did it come about? What's the goal of Promise Neighborhood?
So Promise Neighborhood actually began in Lancaster County in 2016. We started our community pride piece where we were revitalizing the community. We started our community work days. It wasn't until fall of 2021 that we received the announcement that we received funding for the grant. So Promise Neighborhoods began in January 2022, and so what that means is we received about $23 million from the federal government over the span of 5 years to implement the programs. So we have services from starting from infancy, prenatal with the Children's Council, First Steps, and then there's a pipeline of services after early child care. We have K through 12, and then we have college and career, and we also have our family and community component. So even though there are 12 different service providers, there's about 25 programs that are being implemented to guarantee children's success, to revitalize the community, and to restore what the pride in the community is. So Lancaster Promise Neighborhood is a really big grant, and it encompasses from academic support to community support to family support. So we just try to make sure that we are bridging the gap between what our families need and making sure that they have the resources to fulfill those needs.
Yeah. Who are some of y'all's biggest partners that help fund these projects? Because these projects, there's a lot of them. I know it's probably cost a lot. What's some of y'all's biggest partners, and what are your favorite partners to work with?
Well, I'll start with our biggest. Our biggest partner right now and our biggest service provider is the Lancaster County School District, because a lot of our other service providers provide their services inside the classroom. So a lot of our biggest community partners include the Aris Foundation, we have INSP, so we have a lot of different people in the community. Even though I'm partial and Promise Neighborhood is what I do every day, I don't have a favorite because I know that it takes everyone from our biggest donors to our smallest donors that participated in Give Local that keeps us running. So even though we have a lot of service providers, I don't have a favorite because they all play a part in the big picture.
Okay, and what is your vision for Promise Neighborhood in the future? What's like a big goal you want to reach one day?
So right now we target Clinton, A.R. Rucker, and Lancaster High School. My goal is to expand. Even though we start in our designated zone, which we call the Opportunity Zone, I would love to see us grow into other areas and grow into different parts of the county that would benefit from our services, because what we try to do is service the most under-resourced areas in the community. So my goal is to kind of expand to South Middle School, expand to Heath Springs and Kershaw, because we know that a lot of the services that we provide will be beneficial in those communities as well.
Yes, ma'am. And I know you want to like expand to these other middle school stuff in here, but have y'all ever had an idea of maybe going around all of South Carolina?
Not me.
Not you? Not you?
I can honestly say that with it being such a big grant, what we try to do is make sure that we're fitting the needs of the community. And there are very different needs in Lancaster County, like there are very different needs in South Carolina. So it would be very hard to expand to the state. And I know that Charleston already has a Promise Neighborhood, and I think Spartanburg has a full service grant, which is a sister grant to Promise Neighborhood. So the work is being done throughout the state. I just don't know if it's something that my staff can undertake. So
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And what makes Promise Neighborhood stand out? Like, what's a standout program that you've had that's been very successful in these past years?
Well, I think what makes Promise Neighborhood stand out is our partnerships, because we can't do it alone. And it feels really good to call on a partner and have an idea, and they are willing to step in and implement those services. But I will say our most longest standing program is our extended day program that we offer in Clinton, A.R. Rucker, and Lancaster High School. That is the program that has serviced the most students since Promise Neighborhood has been implemented.
And when y'all first implemented extended day, did y'all have any issues? Was it like kind of a learning curve for all of y'all?
I think all of our programs have been a learning curve. I will say with Promise Neighborhood, the grant was written in 2018, and so it was written pre-COVID. So we have had to adapt a lot when it comes to implementing the services and making sure that we are taking that community voice. Sometimes we hear things from the community, the school, and students that was not implemented in the grant. So we are working with our different partners to make sure that we are filling those gaps and being a bridge to the services that the community needs. So even though we do have a lot of services that's being implemented, we're still making sure that we're adapting and we're growing. Every day we're growing with service providers and also different partners in the community.
Yes, ma'am. And how do you keep the people in your staff engaged through all this? Because I know there's probably some moments where y'all, it gets tough and, you get a little disheartened. What do y'all do as a team to, keep the flow going?
So I will say I have an amazing team, and they have worked. I will have some crazy ideas, and when we sit down at the table, we make sure that we make it happen. We try to go to lunch. We try to do a little bit of team building, but we're all supportive of each other. It's not I stay in my lane. It's a collective leadership. So we all do what needs to be done and do whatever it takes, from directing traffic to buying hot dog buns. The team just sees the bigger picture, and so they kind of step in and do whatever needs to be done, no matter what their job description or their title is.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today. Looks like that's our time up for this segment, but there's more to come on Community Corner, so stay tuned for what's next. Every organization has some great programming which will enhance their impact. Here to tell us about the Lancaster Promise Neighborhood Extended Day Program and more is Extended Day Program Coordinator Rodney Hamrick. Thank you for joining the show.
So glad to be here, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. So could you just tell us more about yourself and what is the Extended Day Program?
Well, I am as it says, I'm the program coordinator for the Extended Day Program for the Promise Neighborhood. Also, I'm Lancaster County School District's read-write trainer. Also, I'm this district's parenting director and community liaison for parents here in Lancaster County. So I cover a wide variety of different jobs for the school district and very happy to be a part and doing those things. Now the Extended Day Program is exactly what it says, Jordan, that it is. It's an extension of the day that the students have. We, for the Extended Day, are at Clinton Elementary, A.I. Rucker, and Lancaster High School. An Extended Day is a foundation piece to help the students continue their academic studies. But we also have some other little things that we put in there that makes it exciting.
Yes, sir. And what makes the Promise Neighborhood Extended Day Program more than just an after-school program? Like, what it differentiates from just, other after-school programs?
Well, the first thing, Jordan, that we have to do, Extended Day is not an after-school program. It is exactly what is stated in the grant. It's an extension of the day. Now, the exciting part about it is that we cover academics. We also cover the physical activities. But here's the exciting part, my man. We have something called enrichment, whereby our students here in Lancaster County, they're able to participate in things that probably they won't any other time have the opportunity to do. And because, our county is, Lancaster is considered a rural county, many of our students don't have the opportunity to participate in a lot of other activities. So Extended Day having academics where we're covering homework, things like that. And also the district is really having a push this year that we would work towards more improvement of the academics. So we have, like the normal stuff, we have help with math. Also, we're emphasizing this year science and also our reading component are the three basic foundation pieces that we're really pushing right now. We also have the physical activities. Some of our students at some of our schools, Clinton soccer, regular activities, soccer, football, jazzercise, things like that. So exercise is going on. But the most exciting part is our enrichment. Our enrichment, we've been having classes, we have drones. Now here's the most exciting part because I'm a musician.
Yeah.
We have mobile recording studios at each school. Clinton has a mobile recording studio, Rucker has a mobile recording studio, and Lancaster High School has it. It's called Project Rhythm, where the students use their iPads or the computer, and it's a computer-based program, and they produce beats. Now, I'm privy to it because I hear everything because I have the main app at my site at Bar Street. Some of the things that the students here in Lancaster County have produced, I was thinking about maybe, putting them in my production company and releasing the app.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
it is unbelievable just what students have the capacity to do. And Extended Day offers to them, as I said, not only the academics and the physical, but man, I'm telling you, when it gets to those enrichment things, that mobile studio. We also got this, Jordan, check this out. We have cosmetology at A.I. Rucker. Those ladies, they are already in middle school getting their feet wet with being entrepreneurs. Now, of course, we don't charge anybody anything, but they're learning the skills. And that is very exciting. Not only that, many of our students, even from elementary, middle, and high school, because of many of our international teachers, especially the science teachers, they are exposing our students to science experiments that they do at NASA. I'm telling you, man, it is exciting what's happening in the Extended Day Program. And we want more people to understand here in Lancaster County that change your mindset. Extended Day is not after school. It's a continuation of learning and exploring subjects that they haven't explored before.
Yes, sir. And I've personally heard from other people great things about your all's Extended Day Program. I've had friends that are in it.
Yes, sir.
And what makes you so passionate about it? Like, what makes you just like, what gives you that drive to just keep on going and keep these students? Because I know some students, it keeps them out of trouble on their after-day schools, or it helps them, you know, when they're behind. Because, you know, not all kids are as good at one subject as the other. What makes you so passionate to just keep this going?
Well, one of the things, Jordan, a lot of people don't know about me is that I call myself, I'm from the hood. I grew up in poverty in a place called Dalton Village in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it was because of schools and teachers that saw something in me that kept me out of trouble. So that same passion was, you know, wow, I've been here almost 30 years, oh my God. That passion here in the school district has really been the thing. Being from the hood, I'm able to recognize and also I'm able to understand the plight of poverty. Because if there's an opportunity for a child to go beyond the limits, then I feel it is my job to open up those doors. So Extended Day for Lancaster County has caused a catalyst to open that students that would not have this opportunity are now able in school to do things they've never done before. Now, Jordan, check this out. This is what it does for students. It causes them, okay, I don't want to miss school. Students don't want to miss school. Why? Because I got to get to Extended Day. Now, one thing to remember about Extended Day, Jordan, is that we have requirements. As I said, Extended Day. We follow the same rules as in the daytime, but we also give that little leeway for those exposure things, same disciplinary action and everything else, but we don't give homework. But there are requirements: reading, math, and science. You have to meet these goals that we have. The whole grant in Promise Neighborhood is data driven. So I got to have data to see the classes that we're offering, are they being effective? If not, might need to tweak them. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. Education changed my life. I was the first one in my family to graduate from Winthrop University. Hey, I love it. As an old man, I'm in my 50s sitting up in the class with 18-year-olds, but Jordan, I got it. It took me some years, but I got it. So what do I want? I want the same thing. I want students to be excited about what's going on in the classroom. And if we can offer these things through the Extended Day, then guess what happened, Jordan? Students become that catalyst to change the world. That's why I'm so passionate about it, to see change in young people's lives.
Yes, sir. And you know, y'all have done a great thing. I've seen people change through it. And I have one more question
Yes,
for
sir.
you. How can someone sign up for Extended Day? For these kids that want to go out and, you know, now that they're hearing about it and they're seeing these posters, how do they go about signing up so they can be part of Extended Day themselves?
On Extended Day, we have a certain calendar, a certain schedule. So what the student does is go to your local school's website. At the website, they will see the Promise Neighborhood tab. Under the tab is a form. Parents have to sign off on the form because we want to also make sure that the parents are involved with what we're doing. So they sign up at their local school. Now there's certain days to sign up because of bus transportation. But if you don't need bus transportation, you can sign up for Extended Day anytime you want to, so long as your parents can come and pick you up. Because Lord knows I'm not staying after school and neither is any site director.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
got to come and get your babies. Don't leave them babies at that school. Well, you know, some parents have tried that, but you know, once Mr. Hambright call you, get over and get that child. No, I don't say it like that. I'm more sweeter.
Yes, sir.
But you just go to the school site on the Promise Neighborhood and you can sign up there. Now, like I said, we're getting ready to go into our second cycle. So the site is open, but it's only limited for a couple of weeks for those who need bus transportation. But as I said, if you have car transportation that can come and pick you up, then you can sign up for Extended Day anytime you want to.
Yes, sir. And I'd like to thank you for being on the show.
Jordan, glad to be here. Y'all better invite me back.
Oh, we will. Trust
All right.
me. Up next, we'll learn about how academic success coaches are helping students keep watching for more on this episode of Community Corner.
Learn TV.
Learn TV.
Learn TV. Learn TV.
You can see our content on YouTube. Just search Learn TV like a
Cornea Channel. 114.
114.
They have a lot of spirit.
Lancaster Promise Neighborhood is impacting the lives of the students and helping make that impact is success coaches at each school. Joining us is Family Services Coordinator Megan Roberts. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
So just tell us more about yourself and what's your position at Promise Neighborhood? How is it like being a coach?
So I am Megan Roberts. I am pretty new to Promise Neighborhood. I've been there almost a year, but I have a lot of years in case management with multiple agencies in Lancaster County. So my role is to make sure that the success coaches at each of those three schools, Clinton Elementary, A.R. Rucker, and the high school, are following up with their kids or following up with their families to ensure that they have everything that they need to be successful at school and at home.
Yes, ma'am. And what type of training or prerequisites are required to be an academic success coach?
So this year we started something new where they had to complete a registered behavioral technician training. It's a very intense training. It's 40 hours, but it takes much longer than that, where it basically gives them more of an understanding of different behaviors that kids may have and reasons why they may show those behaviors so that they're able to connect better with those students and with those families and bring those resources to those families that those students may need. That's the only training. We do little trainings all the time with just keeping like organization and case management in general. But the biggest thing for any success coach is just communication. We have a very diverse group of people that live in Lancaster, and they have to be able to talk to kids that are in kindergarten or may not even be in school yet, all the way up to parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever's raising the kids. So that's a huge part of being a success coach.
Yes, ma'am. And what drew you to take on this role and like just make a different impact on people's lives and students' lives?
What drew me to wanting to be a part of this position is my background has always been with helping families and kids in a lot of different capacities, but I was with the Department of Social Services for a very long time, and that was a whole different way that you communicate with families. So I thought by coming into this role and being able to connect with kids at a much younger age and with the families as well and getting resources already in place for these families, it would just be beneficial to the community as well as you come in with a whole different mindset. You're not there to take kids or anything like that. You're truly there to just help this family with whatever they need. And then with the success coaches being in the school, you get to follow those students into the school, keep eyes on them, help guide them with whatever it is that they may have going on, whether it's troubles with academics or behavioral issues or not being able to get to school on time or not coming at all. So just having a clearer impact for these families at a younger age.
Yes, ma'am. And what would you think would be the hardest part of being a success coach?
I would think that the hardest part of being a success coach is getting families engaged and having them stay engaged. They get to see the students every day at school, and they're able to pull them and talk to them and check in with them. But parents have to want to be checked on, and sometimes it's hard for them to make that connection with a family and build that trust and be able to really get down to what the issue is before they're able to offer services. And families have different reasons of not necessarily wanting to put their business out there, but if they trust you and they trust the process, it could be very beneficial to them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And how can someone get into contact with your academic success coach? Because I know some students might not know that there's one at the school. And
Right.
how do you get in contact and how are you more aware of it?
So we have 2 full-time employees at Clinton Elementary and a part-time employee, 2 full-time employees at Rucker Middle, and 3 full-time at Lancaster High School. If any student wants to be paired with a success coach, they can simply go to the classrooms that they're at and speak with them. They all have work phones that they're able to communicate with them. They have emails. They can call the office and speak with me. And then once I talk to, or whoever from the school talks to the student, talks to the family, that success coach will go out and do a home visit and explain their role and be able to get signed up with the success coach. It's just
Yes,
a simple conversation.
Yes, ma'am. Why are academic success coaches so important to Promise Neighborhood? What kind of role are they and how big of is it?
So within the grant, the academic success coaches play a really big role because you want to see behavior changes. You want to see academics, grades, all of that go up, attendance increase. So the more that the success coaches, like the more students they're able to hit, the better it is. Like the whole school is at a rise for all of those things. So, I mean, I think it is very crucial. I also think it's just a great opportunity. I mean, it's literally resources at your fingertips. The success coaches know every resource that Lancaster County has to offer. If it's not in Lancaster County, they can find it elsewhere and figure out transportation if that's an issue. But I think that they're a huge part of the grant, and I think that they could be very impactful for not only the students that they are come in contact with, but also as the families as a whole.
Yes, ma'am. And what kind of areas do these coaches cover? Like, I know they do academics at home. Is there anything else?
So they can help with academics if that's the issue, behaviors, any behavioral problems, and like I said, attendance. But it goes way more in depth. It literally is just whatever that student or that family needs, whether it's food, housing, clothing. I mean, they can make resources for everything. Mental health, counseling. I mean, we have a ton of resources in Lancaster. And a lot of people don't know that in the community. A lot of these families don't realize how much Lancaster County has to offer. So just these success coaches being able to educate families and let them know that if you are struggling, we can connect you with something, I think is a huge thing.
Yes, ma'am. And what kind of qualities are you looking for when you're going out and hiring these success coaches? What are the key qualities you look for in these people?
The key for me is, like I said earlier, 100% communication, being able to communicate with anyone. It's also nice if they are able to kind of put themselves in these parents' shoes. Like, a lot of families are struggling right now, and to be able to sit with them and understand them and say you've been in that situation before, not that you have to be, but that you can understand it and not judge people for it, and know the resources of Lancaster County, because that's the biggest thing. You want to be able to connect school, students, and community and families all together where you're just one big operating smoothly machine. So they're kind of just a support system for everyone. So being able to have certain qualities and such as communication, not judging, openness, knowledge of your community are main things that we look for.
Yes, ma'am. And I'd like to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
That's all the time we have for today. If you have any comments or suggestions, you can email us at learn.tv@lcsd.k12.sc.us. You can see our content on YouTube. Just search Learn TV Lancaster or on Comporium Channel 114. I want to thank our guest again for coming on and discussing how the Lancaster Promise Neighborhood is impacting our community. Thank you for watching this episode of Community Corner.